They call me Squirrel.
What's going on over here on the other side of Squirrel? This is one that YouTube recommended to me, and there was two parts of this that made me go, "Oh, I need to do this." One was the song itself, "Amazing Grace." More on that in a second. And the other part was the fact that more than 200 bagpipes live in Berlin. I love bagpipes. Bagpipes just you're gonna see me squirm. I get goosebumps. I love the sound of bagpipes. I just love them. I think a lot of that has to do with when I was younger. I loved Roddy Piper. He was like one of my favorite wrestlers, even though he was a bad guy. And I loved listening to the bagpipes when it came to the ring. It just had this power to it, and I've always found bagpipes to be very powerful and just a really great song. Great sound. I mean, and I had a friend of mine tell me one time like it sounds like someone's choking a goose. And I was like, man, I don't get that at all. I mean, I get that kind of honkiness or something that you're hearing or whatever, but to me, it's just power. It's just beautiful sounds. I love it. Amazing Grace holds a special little place for me when I was a bartender and bar manager living down in Florida. There was a guy named Willie. They called him the best dressed bum in Bradenton. He always wore suits all the time. When he went to Salvation Army, he had a few bucks. He'd always save up and get a suit instead of getting just pants and shirts. So he always wore suits and had a nice hat on, a top hat or a like a fedora, something. Always had a nice hat. And he used to come into the bar and ask me if he could sing. Can I sing? And I say sure, because he'd come in and sing, and he'd just sit at the end of the bar and sing, and he'd sing "Amazing Grace," and everybody would come over and give him a couple bucks, and he'd go be able to get a pizza or get a drink, or and then after a while, him and I kind of got even more friendly, and he'd come in at the end of the night and ask if he could sweep my peanuts to take out my trash, because we'd have peanut shells all over the floor. So he'd help me out, and I'd give him a few bucks every night or whatever. And he was a good guy. I heard recently that Willie passed away, so when I saw this, it'd be a good memory of a man who I didn't know well, but I knew him well enough to know that when he walked in and asked me, is it okay if I sing? I always told him yes. And he always sang Amazing Grace. It was the best song he sang. He sang a few others, but Amazing Grace is usually what he would start with because he had this big, deep voice, and it was beautiful. I have no idea who's singing this. I have no idea if it's a man or a woman. I have no idea if they have a deep voice or a high voice. But I know I love the song, and I know I love bagpipes, and I know I miss Willie. So without further ado, let's get into this and let's see what this is all about. Here we go.
Like
Well, I wasn't expecting to be hit that hard with that voice, that deep, deep. I've never heard anyone else sing Amazing Grace in such a deep voice as when Willie would sing it. And as soon as this gentleman started singing, it was like I could picture Willie sitting at the end of my bar, neck cocked to the side, because he had a problem with his neck. His neck was always cocked to the side with his fedora on and his suit at like 2 o'clock in the morning, singing Amazing Grace. You know, it was a small friendship that him and I had built together, but it's amazing sometimes when you realize what a profound difference someone made in you as a person. I feel like uh, Willie came to me at a time in my life when I was young and I was single and I was I was kind of, I don't know. I was dumb with money. Made a bunch of money and just kind of blew my money all the time. And I don't know. It's just the way my life was. I mean, I wasn't like on any like cocaine benders or nothing stupid like that. Don't get me wrong. But I had no focus in life. I had no, and I started. I felt a tremendous amount of empathy for him and others. And my roommate and I would go out and we would go to the store and buy a bunch of stuff and just make lunches and bring them out and hand them out to the homeless people. And Willie was a big part of that. I realized just through talking to him and seeing how something so small for me could mean so much to him. And that's why we started doing lunches on the weekends and my roommate Paul and I. But Willie was a good guy, and a lot of businesses told him to piss off because they felt that he was a nuisance. And I embraced Willie, and I enjoyed having him around. We would have conversations, we would talk, and I had to remember that sometimes Willie was going to walk in the front door of the bar and yell at me and tell me what an evil motherfucker I was and scream and yell at me because most people who live on the streets aren't all there mentally. A lot of these people suffer and have issues, and but 90% of the time, he was awesome. And this guy sounds just like him, and he sounds just like this guy. And then you throw those bagpipes on top, man. I melted like butter. That was beautiful. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I really, really do. I hope that of all the pieces I showed, I hope this is one that really resonates with a lot of people. I appreciate you listening to me. I appreciate you letting me share my story about Willie. And I want to thank you for always being here to support me. Squirrel out.